Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, my next guest is Doug. He's a mental magician. Mentalist, to be exact. There we go. He's an awesome guy. He's very interesting. I follow him on Instagram, and he's going to tell us more about mentalists.
Yeah, mentalism, people all commonly ask me, what's the difference between a magician and a mentalist? Magicians deal with illusion.
Okay.
They commonly do card stuff with sleight of hand or make something disappear and reappear, make something float. Whereas mentalists, they go into their mind. So I do predictions, mind reading, some clairvoyance type items.
Clairvoyance stuff.
Yeah.
So clairvoyance, what most people don't know what that is. It's like remote viewing, right?
Well, it's basically doing the impossible. It's like
It's doing the impossible, like knowing something beyond space and time.
Exactly.
Yeah, which most people don't know. That clairvoyance, that's a very interesting word. How'd you get into it?
So I'm a magician when I was 9 years old.
Okay.
Got hooked. And so I went to the elementary school where I went to school, and I was like flabbergasted. There was 3 magic books in the library at the school. Like I hit gold, right?
Okay.
After I went through those, I went to the public library, and there were 10. So I was like, hit the mother load. And so I at that point, like I can actually learn this.
Yeah.
And so just a hobbyist for years and years and years. Did the whole college thing, got married and kids and everything, and then I went through a divorce. And I was doing some reading, and the authors of the book said, find something you enjoyed doing when you were younger. So the lights went on, the billboard, there's like flashing, magic. So that's how I got started professionally. So I put together some kid shows. I figure if I mess up in front of kids, no big deal. So I put together a couple shows and did some free shows, just get some input. They said, well, yeah, it's pretty good. So I started charging on the low end, and then after about 7 years, had a couple rabbits die.
Oh man!
And lugging around all the equipment for the kid shows, I'm like, let me just pack light, play big, and so I decided to go into mentalism.
Mentalism, okay.
And so it's very yeah.
I was actually talking to someone who's a magician. And he works at the Magic Castle also, and I was like, "What's the hardest form of magic?" He's like, "It's mentalism." So I was like, "I know a guy. I need to talk to him." So here we are. Okay, tell me a little more how it works.
How it works?
Yeah.
Just the mind.
Just the mind.
Yeah.
Okay, doing magic with the mind.
Magic with the mind, tapping into the left brain, and I do a lot of Zoom shows now. And so
nice.
The predictions, I can send them either a text, if they're right there, or across the country, or write something on a piece of paper,
okay,
or have someone think of a word, which we could do a little demo. And,
yeah. Why do you think people are so interested in magic?
It's nostalgic. It brings people back to that wonderment when they were a kid.
Okay.
And we used to have it, right?
Yeah.
And then you grow up, life happens, and stress and bills and job, and we kind of get away from that. But kids, they're always like, life is wonder. They're always looking and asking questions and just that wow. Whereas adults, we just kind of lose that. So when I know that I've hit that moment, first person, there's no words. I just get a hug. It just takes them back to like the jaw drops, like, wow, thank you. And it's like it just takes them back.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's interesting. And have you ever seen like magic? Like people do things that just like you're like, wow.
Like dark magic?
Not dark magic, but something that you're like, it's just completely mind blowing, and you can't even explain it.
I've seen so. I've been stumped. I've been like, whoa.
Yeah, but you've also stumped a lot of people too. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Cool. And do you think science could ever explain magic?
There are some elements. Yeah, there's some of the intuitive type end of the psychological part of the magic, which is what I kind of tap into as well. There's some science behind it.
There's some science behind it.
Yeah. Okay. And then there's others, and a lot of things that I do, people can do with the right training and development of certain aspects of the mental aspect. So it's not like a unique gift to me, but it's certain skills, certain elements that you just develop and tweak and refine and fine tune. And I just
interesting. You hone in on it.
Yep.
Let me ask you this: when you do this, I'm sure you've done this for a long time. Is there like certain things or certain buttons you can press in different people that trigger certain things that's like universal across everyone?
Emotion is really the key to tap into emotion. So usually when I say think of some place that you've vacationed,
Okay.
that brings a happy memory, so that it brings in that emotional element. There's sometimes I say, do you remember the first person you ever kissed? So it brings in that fun, emotional moment.
So I was like 13.
Those types of things.
Yeah, I was 13 years old. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I just brought it back. I was like a kid then.
Every guy remembers that.
Yeah. Just kiss, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
That's it.
exactly.
Just kiss. Nothing
I
happened.
beat you by a couple of years.
Oh, cool. Well, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Cool.
So, the emotional to bring back. And certain things I do, I said, no, it has to be positive, because I can't tap into the negative energy. So I always keep it positive and fun.
Yeah,
I always like to put a fun element, not a dark, like a weird thing. I just like to
just make it fun.
Make fun.
Yeah, of course. And it's enjoyable for you, and it's enjoyable for the audience.
Absolutely.
Now, your type of magic, is it more like a one-on-one base instead of like doing it in front of like a whole audience, like where you pull a rabbit out?
Good question.
Yeah.
I like the intimacy of a small group, like 3, 4, 5, 10 people, like crowding around. So cocktail hours are something I really enjoy. The strolling, the table hopping.
Yeah.
Did a great event this last Friday night downtown, and ton of fun. And it was just strictly strolling. But I do a stand-up show. I've done stand-up in front of hundreds of people. But what I enjoy most is just the smaller groups.
I'm guessing it's more intimate and it's more effective. So I was watching your Instagram, and you showed some guy something, and he just ran away, and he came back, and he was completely blown away. What was that? You want to tell me about that?
I don't remember that, but yeah.
It happened like last week, I think.
Possibly, yeah. So
but that happens a lot.
Downtown, people literally throwing money at me and run. Like, here's, take my money, and they run. They're freaked.
Really?
Absolutely.
Cool. Interesting. Okay. And how often do you practice to actually get good at your skill?
I try to go out every weekend just to hit the streets, street magic, bars, clubs, just to like try new things, new presentations, new approaches to things. But it's a regular basis, several times a week, because it's just.
Yeah, it's mentalism. You have to practice with individuals.
Absolutely.
So it's not like other form of magic where like people do cards and they have to practice by themselves to have like fast hands. You work with individuals.
Exactly. And I don't do card sleights. I don't do card magic. I don't even know how to shuffle very well.
I mean, yeah, neither do I. That's interesting. Have you been to the Magic Castle?
One time.
One time?
3 years ago.
Oh,
it finally hit my bucket list, and it was amazing.
Was it?
It was amazing.
I got invited to go, but I didn't have enough time. Oh. But I need to go back. I know the guy. He's also a magician.
Yeah, of course he is. Yeah. It's a private club, so you have to be invited by a
That's the
magician.
thing. I never, I was never invited.
Can't just walk in.
Yeah. So I really want to go.
They're in Hollywood.
What do you think parents can do for their kids to keep that in them, like to keep that alive? That like wonder and because I know when kids grow up, parents are like, you need to grow up, get a job, go to college. What do you think parents can do to keep that? Like, because when you talk about it, you're so enthusiastic.
You need to follow your passion is what you need for kids. 100%. Follow your passion. And for kids, I love it when they start taking like an interest in magic.
Yeah.
Because, thinking back when I was 9 years old. And so I've actually taught classes for kids.
Really?
And at the Parks and Rec Centers, it's been quite a few years. Had a class, the Royal Academy of Magic.
Nice.
And it was multiple weeks, like 4-week course. At week 1, week 2, week 3, and 4 weeks. And so I teach different tricks during each week. And this was not mentalism, it's just strictly magic and, misdirection, right? Look here while you're doing something tricky here.
That reminds me of Swordfish, the movie.
Exactly.
Misdirection.
And it was so much fun. And we had, and I always tell the kids, always practice. I had to have them raise their hand to the square. I said, promise me you'll practice 100 times before you show anyone. So always, right after class, the parents come and pick them up, right? Say, hey, Mom, let me show you a trick.
Nice.
Zero practice.
Good.
It never went well for the kid.
Okay, good. That's why I actually started this podcast. Like you said, just follow your passion. I enjoy talking to people and learning new things. And it's something about magic where you can't really explain it. Like some of the stuff you do that I've seen on YouTube.
The mentalism is where there's no sleight of hand.
Yeah, there's no sleight of hand.
There's no trick boxes, no fakes, no mirrors,
awesome.
no wires.
That's awesome.
And so it's a harder impact. That's what really.
But I want to understand how that really works. You don't have to go into it, but I mean, you can definitely try it on me. Have you ever seen things that just you can't explain? Like maybe something based on intuition or certain things that even surprised you that you were practicing on people?
Oh, yeah. I saw a mentalist down in Vegas, and he did a meet and greet. And a couple of ladies come up afterwards, and they had their lanyard on, and he goes, "Rhonda, nice to meet you. I had a premonition this morning that I was going to meet you." And he pulls out of his pocket a piece of paper
with the girl's name
and said,
on it.
"You're going to meet Rhonda." Just like that. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, that's next level. Yeah, that's clairvoyance right there. That's shocking.
And their reactions was like, okay, this is a sweet moment.
Okay.
Brought them back to their
Yeah. So you deal with the mind. I mean, the words in there.
Mhm.
How do like hypnotist magicians work? Is it similar or is it different?
I've dabbled a little bit. I've actually done one time hypnotized.
You hypnotize
Yeah,
people?
one. It was a group of high school students.
Okay.
Just a small group in our living room at our home at a birthday little event.
Okay.
Did it one time. I'm intrigued. It does. I mean, you go into the lower subconscious levels, and it requires the high level of trust by the participant in the person. So that's why stage magician or hypnotists, they get a group of people, and out of like 15, 10 go under because 5 just didn't connect, or they didn't believe in the guy, or didn't have that trust where the subconscious can kind of take over. So it's
I've seen it done, but it was tripping me out. The guy started
It's amazing.
kissing himself.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
It's
it is pretty
the
amazing.
funniest show I ever attended was a stage hypnotist.
Yeah?
Funniest show.
Where did the guy wet himself or what? I've actually seen that too before.
One of the things he said to one gentleman in the group, he said, "When you hear the song Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash, your butt is going to burn like fire. And the only way to cool it down is for you to scoot across the floor on your butt." So he was going through the show just regular, and then all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, that song came on. And that one dude,
he just went
jumped on the floor and just started scooting across, and the whole audience went hysterical.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that works. That works. How do you think that works though? Like, are you like implanting thoughts in people's subconscious?
Pretty much, yeah. The subconscious kind of takes over. It's the power of suggestion.
Power of suggestion.
And it's high level of trust, and it just taps into that whole lower subconscious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it becomes the reality.
It becomes a reality.
Yeah. Like if your fingers cannot unlock, the fingers cannot unlock.
And I guess you're believing it. It's your reality. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So what got you into doing, instead of card tricks, more into the mental aspect of magic?
Back in the day, it didn't have the videos, the visual, and I'm a visual guy. I didn't have a mentor, so it was always hard when I pick up a magic book and there's like card tricks. I just never really picked it up. You never picked it up.
Okay.
And then when I started getting back into magic again, I started with kid shows with traditional magic, and making silks appear and disappear, and doing interaction with the kids.
Yeah.
And brought in a bunny as the finale. I had the child become the magician, so he would wave. I put a cape on him, put a hat on him. He waved the wand over the box, and he opens up. And there's the rabbit there.
Okay. So I talked to a different magician, and he said your form of magic is the hardest. So what do you think is the hardest form of magic?
Which do I think?
Yeah.
Mental. Well, they have their. I mean, there's difficulty in both areas, but the mentalism, it's not really props.
There's no props.
Exactly. I mean, you have books. You have some. I use some cards just as a tool.
Yeah.
But not like to make a card disappear and then reappear.
I see what you mean. You mean here's what I'm thinking. There's 8 billion of us, and each individual is individual and have their own personality.
Correct.
And you have to work with every single person's personality.
Correct.
Which means the same thing might not work on 2, 3, 4 people. So you have to tweak it a little bit. Is that?
Yeah, you kind of read them a little bit, kind of see which direction to go on it.
Okay.
And you get different reactions. You get screamy, you get just shock and no words, and it's just fun.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I agree 100%.
And then now the whole Zoom thing, I mean, that's kind of a whole nother direction that's been kind of fun to kind of pursue as well.
So you just do magic via Zoom? Via
Zoom. Yeah, I do that all over the world now. And it's I've done corporate events.
Nice.
I've done private parties.
Nice.
It's because I'm a mentalist, I can send a prediction to their phone.
Okay.
If it's US, it's a text.
Okay.
If it's international, it's an email. And they open up in real time. And no matter the miles, doesn't matter. And because I'm a mentalist also, I'm able to interact with the audience. So there's a lot of verbal, not visual, like boom, disappear and reappear. It's I write messages and reveal messages. And then
That's awesome.
So yeah, multiple shows. I do a family show, all kids, all ages, doesn't matter, mixed. I don't do just strictly kids shows for Zoom.
I mean, yeah.
I did it a couple times when I first started, and it ends up being the parents go away.
Oh.
And the kids are there, and there's no manager. I'm like, okay, this is not what I signed up for.
Yeah. Now you're babysitting them.
Exactly. It doesn't work. So I like family shows where you have the mix. I have stuff for the adults, stuff for the kids. But most of my shows are for adults, teenagers and adults, because it's the mentalism. So if it's a family show, then I have to throw in some typical, magic stuff.
Yeah.
But I like the whole mental lane.
Nice. Okay. And I'll post your information online, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to hire him, you can hire him from anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
English speaking, unless you have a translator.
Yeah.
Which I've done before.
You've had a translator?
I did a show in Korea.
Really?
Yeah. It was 5 o'clock our time.
5 a.m.?
Yeah. 5 a.m. and then I think it was 7 p.m. their time.
And they loved it?
Oh, absolutely.
Good.
Ton of fun.
Why not? Dude, sky's the limit on the internet.
And a couple of the shows that I'm now producing and put together, which is very unique, is romance shows.
Romance.
So I have one show called The Magic of Love.
Okay.
Which is magic.
Okay.
It's me plus one couple. So it's great for an anniversary night, an anniversary trip, because they could be traveling, because it's by Zoom, or a honeymoon. So they could be honeymooning in Paris, and I do a show customized just for them.
Okay.
It's a great wedding gift, great anniversary gift. I've done the show as a gift for someone's parents.
Nice.
So and then
Cool.
I have group date night.
Cool. That's awesome.
4 couples and me.
Nice.
And so you could have a school buddy from college who has a wife, and you have a wife, and you're 4 couples living elsewhere, and you've gotten split by the miles.
Nice.
You come in on one show, and I just entertain you.
Cool. Okay. That's awesome. I'm definitely going to look into it. You work with the mind a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have some advice for people that are just like in a rut that maybe they could better themselves? Because you kind of, you work with the mind a lot. So I'm sure you know how certain things work. People have certain triggers.
Yep, absolutely. One thing I practice myself is called self-talk.
Self-talk?
And I'm trying to think.
Just telling yourself, like
exactly.
talking yourself?
I'm trying to think of the author, but it's a book called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. And what it is, it's you write your own scripts.
Right.
And it's you write it in the present tense. So if you are uncomfortable talking with people, the sentence you would create would be, I love talking with people. I'm very natural talking to people. I approach people without any hesitation, and I'm very comfortable. So you write it in the present tense as if you were that person.
Okay.
So, and then not just read it, you then record it in your own voice. So the subconscious hears you saying that, and it becomes a reality. So whether it be stopping smoking, but it's basically called self-talk, and you have different categories. You can do, networking, or talking with people, or approaching strangers, or overcoming a habit, or a fear.
A fear.
I have no fear of this. I just
like public speaking.
Exactly.
I have no fear of public
when
speaking.
I stand up in front of people, I'm 100% comfortable. They love me. There's great feedback. We're having a good time. When in reality, you're just
but if you do that enough times,
absolutely,
it's going to seep
exactly.
That's 100%. That works. Do you think that also could work for like cancer patients and things like that? Personal opinion.
I think there's an element there.
That's the thing I want to understand more.
I think and you hear about it. There's so much positive energy that you can tap into, and those that do effectively, and just don't, just let go, let God, and stay positive, and just feed yourself with just positivity. They go beyond what would normally be the case.
Exactly. That's certain things I'm looking into too. There's just one guy that I read about. Apparently, he was diagnosed with cancer. He had 6 months to live. He locked himself into a hotel room for 6 months. Not 6 months, I think it was like 6 weeks. And all he did was watch comedy videos. And when he got out, he was cured of cancer. Like, what? Because he just locked himself into it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just, there's so much part of the emotion, the mental, the energy that the body just is missing, and we just feed it. Great things can happen.
Good. And speaking of energy, so when you present your show to people, Do you have to come in with a higher energy than they do, a lower energy, or like you try to mimic their energy?
I'm high energy.
I'm high energy
And
too.
if there's low energy, it sucks it out of me. I'm like,
Really?
okay, guys, come on, let's step this up.
Okay, true. Good.
So yeah, and you try to match. If I'm on customer service and I'm like, I'm going, and the customer service rep is like talking slow. I'm like, okay, dude, speed up. I got to get out of here.
Okay.
But with shows and with seniors, some of the older couples, older people, sometimes I get a little fast talking. I just need to, scale it down to them.
Cool.
For like seniors.
Yeah, okay, just slow it down. But still, you're still high
Oh,
energy.
I'm high
I work
energy.
with seniors all day.
I'm high energy.
I work with seniors all day. I just have to slow down my speaking when I talk to seniors. But that's about it. I mean, other than that, it's good. And they're super nice people, so yeah. Okay. Do you want to walk us through with The Great Gatsby, the book?
Should we try something?
Yeah, let's try it. Okay. But walk me through it. Imagine most people, they're not watching it.
Absolutely. So these are two books,
Okay,
Great Gatsby and Casebook of Sherlock Holmes.
Okay.
One is about 270 pages. You can thumb through. There's just it's a regular book. Every page is different.
So it's a small book.
Paperback.
Yeah, paperback. White and black print. Okay. The Great Gatsby.
Yeah. Sherlock Holmes, over 350. A little longer book. Similar.
Okay.
Every page is different.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe in freedom of choice, so choose a book.
I'm going to go with The Great Gatsby.
Gatsby's. Yep.
Yeah,
Gatsby's
I just like the movie. That's why. Yep.
So you'll see that we'll have you look in a moment to look at the first word on a page, but just look through. These are all different words, right?
Right.
On all those first words, they're all different. Okay, so let's. I'm going to turn away.
Okay.
I'm going to run my finger through the corner with just ruffle through the pages, and you say stop, and I will stop. I might be off by 1 or 2 pages, but I'll say stop, and I'll go slow, so we'll be as close.
Yeah. Okay, stop.
Okay, I want you to look at the first word on that page, first word in your mind. Okay, say it in your mind a couple times. I'm getting an O sound. I'm getting it's no.
No way, that's exactly the word.
And we can do it with the other book if you want.
Yeah, let's do it. So so the word was N-O.
Yeah, N-O.
No, and then it was ... some other words, but I just went with the first word.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm tripping out. Okay.
So this one, Casebook, Sherlock Holmes, same thing.
Okay, so he's flipping through.
Yeah, say stop anywhere you want.
Stop.
Do the first word, got it? First word on that page, and I'm not even looking. I'm getting 3 syllables.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting an L sound. Say it in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
In your mind. I'm getting a S sound, but I'm not getting. I don't know if it's an S, but and I'm getting a V sound. This is not a good word. This is something we should be against, right?
Yes.
Violence.
Yep.
The violence is not.
Got him. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. That's actually really good. Okay, I want to ask you how you did it, because magicians.
The power of the mind.
Yeah, the power of the mind. Just focus. Do you meditate?
I try to.
Yeah.
It's hard to slow down.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's important.
Yeah, I try to do like 1.5 hours, 2 hours a day.
Good for you.
Yeah, I did about an hour today.
Good for you.
I have like an hour 45 minutes today.
Good for you. I do have quiet, not really like connect time in the morning, but not. It's a little similar.
Yeah.
But I don't like to do the home.
I just don't like this, or like just sit there and quiet. But it's just that when I've been reading about successful people or magicians or real people that practice magic, such as yourself, or just anyone like yogis and things like that, it all connects to meditation. Just quieting your mind, or just being able to harness it.
Just connecting.
What do you think that?
I think it's very important, very healthy.
Very, very
healthy, because you kind of connect with your inner self, your inner soul, your higher power, whatever that power is.
Yeah.
And it's a very positive thing.
Okay.
Good for the mental health.
Yeah, it is definitely good for the mental health. Okay. And when you go to actually perform, you have to have a clear mind, right? Okay. Yeah, you can't go in with like, oh man, I have to do this, I have to do this. You just have to go in with positive energy. Okay.
When I send a card to someone's mind, I say, clear the mind.
Clear the mind. Okay. Nice. Cool. Any other cool things you can show me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go for it,
We'll
man.
do a little.
We can do whatever you want.
Has some science to it.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Has some science to it. So we have mixed deck of cards. Like I say, I use it as a tool, and I don't shove it. I'll just mix it around. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okay, I'm mixing it. It's mixed. Doesn't matter. say stop anywhere. I'm fanning the cards. Just say
Okay,
stop
stop.
anywhere. Right there.
Yeah.
Take the card and make sure you focus on it. Focus on the image of the card, right? And it's the image that I don't like read someone's mind. I mean, that's pretty invasive, right?
I mean, but if I'm giving you permission.
Yeah,
if I'm
yeah.
giving you
I asked for
go
permission.
right ahead.
Absolutely. So I want you to think of the card. Think of the color. Actually, let's do the science. Put it in your pocket. Put the card in your pocket. I don't want to see it, or just tuck it away.
All right, tuck it away.
Let me see your right hand. Let me see your hand. We know what a pulse is used for. Got it. You're alive. That's good.
Yeah.
I got another use. Got it. Think of the card. Think of the color. I'm getting red.
Yes.
Think of the suit. It's not a diamond. I'm getting a heart.
Yes.
Clearly a heart. Think of the value. I'm not getting. Are you thinking of the value?
Yeah.
You sure? Are you left-handed?
Actually, I am. You want to try the left hand?
Yeah, I'm not getting.
Yeah. Go for it.
You are left-handed.
Yeah, both actually.
Yeah. Well, okay. I wasn't getting the signal, so
Okay,
the value.
no
So
problem.
there we go. There it is. Not a face card. It's not even a number. It's the Ace of Hearts.
Yeah. Boom. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Boom. That's actually pretty good. So it makes a difference when you're left-handed?
Sometimes the energy. Sometimes I'm getting close, but it's just like fuzzy. And
Nice.
that technique took me about 2 years to figure out.
That took you 2 years to figure that out?
Yeah, it's not something you like read in a
Yeah.
magic book.
That's, oh man, but that's a great skill to have.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
You and interrogators.
Exactly.
That reminds me of the movie, what was it? Meet the Fockers?
Well,
Where he puts them in there. But it's a similar concept, right?
yeah. Similar.
That's awesome.
I've seen that
Cool.
movie. It's funny. Yeah.
Cool. What else can you tell us about magic? Because I know, here's the thing, you've been studying magic since you were 9. Whether it's the origin of magic or how it's practiced in different cultures. Tell me a little more.
What magic? You give that someone a wow moment, and
Yeah.
people need it. People in the stress of the economy,
Yeah.
what's going on in politics,
Yeah.
it takes them away from that,
Okay.
so they forget about those things, and you just forget about time. I did a show for an older couple. I said, "We can't believe how fast this time went." I'm like, yeah. So
Because they're having fun.
and people need that. People need it on an emotional level, the positivity, that wow, and it's healthy. It's very healthy.
Alright. Yeah, I agree. I love magic.
And when I teach kids, when I've taught kids in the past, it helps them get up in front of people.
Oh,
Public
nice.
speaking skills.
Yeah, they build confidence.
Introverts become confident, and this is a true story. I did a private class for a kid in my home here in Murray, and his grandfather brought him, and on the doorstep, the grandfather says, "Do you think this is something I can learn?" I said, "Get in here." Taught him.
Nice.
So it doesn't matter the age. But then another gentleman was an older gentleman, but I was just teaching the basics.
Okay.
And he said, "Let me tell you what I've been doing with it." He was from down in Payson area
Okay.
with kids that are troubled kids. And he says he's had kids, when he shows them magic, they come out of the fetal position and they open up and they smile. And I'm like, that's
awesome.
that was a great feeling that it was going to a different level. The things that I taught him, he was doing some wonderful things with it. It's just very,
Good.
very powerful.
Yeah. I mean, hey, you give positive energy, you get it back, and then give it to other
Yeah,
people.
put it out there.
Put it out there.
People
Okay.
need it.
Yeah, people need it. And is it like universal across all cultures?
That's what's nice.
Like,
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
because you did people in Korea via
Yeah.
Zoom.
Yeah.
And of course it
It
worked.
worked, yeah.
Yeah, it worked and they had a blast.
People still have thoughts. People still, think of
Yeah.
places, books. They read. They look at numbers and letters and
But that
images.
But that makes me think that we're all somehow connected.
We are.
And
We are.
yeah,
The only difference is the culture and languages.
culture and languages.
We're
Yeah.
all, at the core, we're all the same. Want the same thing.
Yeah.
Want safety, peace, happiness, security for our family,
Yeah.
and a fun time.
Yeah. Yeah. Magic will definitely it'll do it.
Yeah.
It'll do it. Okay, so when you read people, can you kind of feel their energy in a sense?
For the most part. Some people are closed, though. Sometimes, like, okay, it's like trying to read a closed book. So it's
Yeah.
like, it's like, so you kind of do. And sometimes I miss on some things. I'm like, okay.
I mean, you're human.
Yeah, and it's not a science, right? I mean, there's some elements. It's like,
Yeah.
and then depending on the environment, if it's really loud, It's like, okay, I'm not getting it then.
Yeah. If it's more quiet, you could.
Exactly.
So you can read me a lot easier now that we're in a private
Exactly.
room. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
How do you explain it when you read people? Like what goes to your mind, or what are you trying to understand about the person? Like, is it their energy level, how they're positioning themselves, if they're on their phone, are they pay attention to you, are they making eye contact? What is it exactly?
Well, there's things called like body language. You can read some of those things, but you can sense positivity. Negative energy.
Okay.
And sometimes if I think of a place, I try to narrow it down. And sometimes it's not exact, but it's close. Kind of like ballpark. And in my gig Friday, there was put down a name, put on a card, any random name. He says, "Here, let me think of a name." I'm like, okay. So I got the sounds, the letters, but not the entire name. So sometimes it's kind of hit and miss, depending on the.
You definitely hit, man. 2 out of 2. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, thank you.
That's actually pretty good. Like the violence part, I was gonna be like, oh man, I'm gonna feel bad he doesn't get it, but he got it. The no was, I guess, a little easier.
Yeah.
But the violence, like, oh, yeah, good.
Oh, fun.
That's awesome, man. Okay. And as far as clairvoyance, remote viewing. So I'm really into that. It's not like conspiracy theory because I've heard of a lot of things. There's a book on it.
Mm-hmm.
The militaries practice it. Do you think it's legitimately possible to see or actually understand what people are doing? They should say like 50 miles away.
Hard to say.
Hard to say.
I've meddled with that, but not really as part of my act. And I'm trying to develop, but it's a tough.
Yeah.
It's a tough. You almost have to. I believe you have to have a gift to do some of those things, and I try to apply other elements that I can get close to that or narrow it down without having the actual gift.
Yeah, not you per se, but do you think it's legitimately possible for people to do it?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure. Okay. All right, got it. I thought I just picked your brain.
Yeah, not sure.
Okay. All right, got it. And who's your favorite magician?
David Blaine.
David Blaine?
Absolutely. He and I just did some reading about him a couple weeks ago, and I didn't pick it up. But why he was a game changer is he focused more on the reactions of the people when he was doing street magic.
Yeah.
The cameraman was always what's going on with the people, and the connection he had. That's before then. It was like, I'm showing you a trick.
Yeah.
You camera guy, you're my audience. You see that a lot on TikTok.
Yeah.
So I'm now a TikToker as of a couple weeks ago, and so my videos on TikTok are the reactions, the screams, the running away. Like
it caught me definitely on Instagram. I didn't watch it on TikTok, but Instagram for sure.
Yeah.
People were like,
one I think maybe one you saw, which I'll be posting tonight, is I was just outside Disneyland. Like, what's the street right out in front of Disneyland? I don't know what it's called.
in Anaheim?
Yeah, in Anaheim, right there.
Oh, in Los Angeles?
Yeah, LA.
I think it's Disneyland Boulevard or something like that.
Yeah, it's right there. They have the restaurant stuff.
Yeah.
So I was just a couple, five ladies or a couple ladies and some of the teenagers were just waiting for a bus or whatever. So I'm like, hey, let me do some magic. So, okay. So I borrowed a phone.
Yeah.
I said, I want you to think of your favorite song. I entered on their phone what I was getting.
Okay.
They put it on their phone, and I flipped, and it was
nice.
Don't stop believing, or
Don't stop believing.
Yeah.
That's it. And did it say anything to you?
Yeah, they were screaming. They're like,
yeah, I would scream too.
I said, yeah, it's your phone.
That's actually pretty cool.
Nothing tricky on my phone.
Yeah, that's actually
the reaction was great.
Yeah.
Don't stop believing.
That's actually pretty cool. But imagine those people were having a bad day. They had to spend a bunch of money in Disneyland. They got out. You probably just made
long lines. Perfect little end.
Yeah,
it was great. Magic Kingdom. Why not?
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think like magic definitely brings a certain element to people's lives, even if they're having a bad day. They go to the magic. I've never heard someone say, I went to a magic show and I had a bad time. Maybe like a musical or something like that. They're being
I'd say it's impossible.
Yeah.
It's like,
that's awesome.
That's what I try to do.
Good. What do you think of Houdini?
He's the king.
He's the king? Is he the king because he's the most popular, or he's like the most gifted, or was it like he was ahead of his time?
He was way ahead of his time. He was a movie actor.
Okay.
People don't realize that. He was starred in some movies.
He was Indian, right?
Actually, he starred in the movie. He was an escape artist, obviously.
Yeah.
He did some crazy magic as well. So he was multifaceted.
Yeah.
And the challenges he did, like at Scotland Yard, when they would lock him around like a pillar, and as they were walking away, say, "Hey, let me join you," and just like that, it's like, what just happened? And these are like legitimate locks that they use for, and that was
he would just get out.
Just get out.
How? Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I do know one technique I can. Should I reveal?
Sure. Go right ahead.
So they would strip him naked, just had underwear on, right?
Okay.
And so he would hide a pick in his hair.
Okay.
So he'd cross his hands, lock his fingers, hair like that. So they would search from the bottom up, and when they got to his shoulders, he would move his hands away from his hair, and he would have a pick. Genius. Way ahead of the game.
Yeah, but there's so many things that could go wrong. Don't they put water?
Exactly.
Try to drown them? Like, you better be confident in yourself.
He did escapes under, like, upside down. They would shackle him from the top, the lid.
Do you understand if they're like that for more than a minute, you start getting dazed?
Absolutely. And David Blaine, I saw him in person.
Yeah.
Did his water test.
Yeah.
And what amazed me, and I was like blown away. He will never do it upside down, out of respect. Simply out of respect for Harry Houdini.
Why is that how he passed away?
No, that was his deal. He did it upside down.
Oh, okay.
So David Blaine's not going to go there.
He's not going to go there. Okay. What do you think of Chris Angel? Chris Angel?
Chris Angel.
Angel.
I haven't seen a show of his yet.
Okay.
But that's on my plan. He's working on a new show. I was just in Vegas a couple of weeks ago and spoke with a magician there after the show, and he's actually working with Chris Angel. And so he had to leave from his show, which me and my wife saw, to go work with Chris Angel.
Now I want to go to the magic show.
I just saw a great video put out by Chris Angel. His son is recovering from child cancer, and it totally rocked his world. And he's recovering after going through 3 years of chemo.
A kid?
At the kid. And I think his new show is bringing his kid on it, which he says, I'd give what he's doing for the charities for child cancer beats anything he's done on stage. And that's 100%. an amazing statement 100%. From Chris Angel.
Yeah, just having a purpose.
Absolutely. Purpose, vision, and purpose driven.
Yeah, and helping people. Well, if your purpose is to help people, man, you just can't succeed.
There you go.
Yeah, 100%. What else?
It's good stuff.
Like, so Houdini came from India, and I feel like there's like a mystical thing about India and magicians.
Did he come from?
I think there's like half Indian or like that. No.
Really? No, he's definitely U.S.
Really?
He was Hungarian, I think. Yeah, his parents, I think, were immigrants from Hungary. Okay. But he started, and the saddest thing was how he died. He died on Halloween. Oh, man. And he died. He had a challenge that anyone could hit him in the gut because he was very strong. But the problem is he had to brace himself, right? He had to take the punch. Yeah. This kid punched him full strength without him having to prepare, and it ruptured his appendix, and he passed away. Really sad. Really? In his prime. And
the kid was just being a dick or what?
Yeah. Just.
Oh man, what a. Okay.
And that's just the saddest thing.
But that's the dangerous thing about magic, right?
Yeah, there's risk. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of risk to it. Yeah. Okay.
But amazing.
Nice. Yeah, man, I'd love to. What's like a thing that you saw David Blaine do when you were like complete shocked?
The water. I mean, he was in there for 12 minutes, I think. And phenomenal. Okay. Phenomenal. But then he would drink at least 2 gallons of water. And then he would drink about a pint of jet fuel.
Jet fuel?
Jet fuel. And the fuel sits on top of the water. So understand, it's in his gut, in his stomach. He lights, he lights with the jet fuel. He has a flame. Okay. And he has a logo. Okay. And he shoots out the jet fuel, and it lights his logo.
And then lights his logo.
And then with the water that's still in the
2-gallon water.
Yes, he extinguishes what he just lit on his logo. That's insane. And that's not fake. That's
Yeah, I mean,
that.
yeah,
There's
I'm not
no.
saying I'm not
Yeah, there's
saying any
no.
of it, but I'm thinking how much discipline and practice you need to actually have to do that. Because it's not a one-time thing. I'm sure he's practiced that many, many times.
And the divers, he goes free diving with the pearl divers to get the lung capacity where he does, like off the coast of the Caribbean.
So a magician like that, like truly immerses himself
Absolutely
into all aspects.
He
of
pushes himself to the limits, and he does a bullet catching act. And he's going
a legit bullet?
Yeah.
Like a 9mm?
Yeah, and he actually built the brace that goes in his mouth to catch the bullet. And one crack, and he's dead.
Yeah, and shoot right through his
and then he has the laser to know exactly where to aim.
Whoa, that's next level. I don't know about that one, man. If you lock yourself up,
he's gonna be he's not gonna live a full life.
Really?
That's my prediction.
Oh man,
because he's doing too much risky stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
But he seems very confident.
Oh yeah.
So like I've seen YouTube videos, but he just seems very confident doing it. But it seems like he trains a lot for that.
Yeah. The first video I ever saw of him.
Okay.
He was walking down the street, like a regular street, like downtown Main Street. Mm-hmm. Restaurants, huge window panes, right? He has a couple of people come look, and he says he pulls out his bag, he's just a casual guy. He pulls out his backpack, and has a deck of cards, takes it out. He said, choose one, puts it in there, mixes it, and he literally throws the deck of cards against the pane of glass.
On the other side, yeah. I've seen
and they all scatter, and there's one stuck, and it's not just stuck on the outside, it's stuck on the
other side. I was like, how the hell does that work?
And it's his side card.
One thing that trips me out, I'm not sure if it's him or Angel, where they levitate.
Yeah,
in front of like 40 people.
That's Chris Angel.
That's Chris Angel?
And he's done it on top of the Lexor with the beam.
Nice.
Crazy. Yeah.
Nice. How does that?
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm thinking.
Sold himself to the devil.
Nah, I don't know about that. Maybe him. Yeah, he's a little on the dark side. Yeah. Maybe he just meditated for a long time and he's able to figure something out. But I'm trying to understand that using science or just basic logic. And that's when logic goes out the door. But that's what magic is. Yeah. It just makes things more fun.
Yeah, exactly. It's the impossible. How?
Right.
Don't know.
Well, I started this podcast to try to rationalize and just understand different forms of magic using science. But when I talk to a lot of people, they're like, yeah, I don't know, man. I just do it. Yeah, it's like quantum mechanics. It's like, oh, yeah, it works. Like, how does it work? Like, oh, we don't know. I'm like, dude, you're like a PhD, professor. How does it work? Yeah. So that's something that really interesting.
And some people, I get those questions like, how do you do it? I'm like, and then someone standing next to me, no, you don't want to know. I'm like, no, you don't want to know. You just let it enjoy the magical moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, and I've been like, no, I just got to know. I'm like, just let it go. Just let it go.
No,
enjoy the moment.
Yeah, I want to know how people are able to heal themselves from cancer. Like what goes on in their mind.
Exactly.
Like, because that I can share with a lot of people, or God forbid something happens to me or my family, I can help them. And I know for a fact that people have done it with the power of the mind.
Yeah.
Like, how do you do that? I mean, that I don't know. But I would love to know that.
Positivity.
Positivity. Yeah, positivity. Yeah, just be surrounded by loving people. Yeah, that really helps too. Okay. What else? Okay, so let's just say parents are watching this and there's little kids. What advice would you give them to actually start on their path to become a magician or a mentalist?
Yeah, there's a lot of videos now, YouTube, all kinds of how-tos. Very simple. I have a YouTube channel, but I don't put out educational how to start. But that's a good way to start. And there are some good magic kits, but a lot of them are not so good.
I bought someone. It was like a card deck, and I was like, oh man. But I did one on accident where like the card flew somewhere, and like everyone was like, how the hell did that happen? No one saw it, and like everyone was shocked. But there was an accident. Like I can't replicate that. Yeah, I can't replicate that.
So a lot of times it's from China, and the instructions are like broken English, and it's like But what I also tell kids is a lot of magic or a good part of magic is the performance.
Yeah,
it's just not like doing step A, step B, step C. There's your trick. There's your magic. No, it's the engagement. It's the entertainment process. Just doing a trick. That's what takes it from a trick to an illusion. Is the whole entertainment.
And misdirection.
Exactly, misdirection.
Misdirection. I like it.
I'll tell you a funny story.
Go for it.
So I was at my grandmother's when I was a teenager, like 13 years old.
Okay.
And I had this little die. I said, Grandma, I'll show you this coin trick.
Yeah.
So I took it. It's called the French drop, where you pretend to take it, but you. So I'm like, okay, Grandma, and I'm holding it. it's gone. And she goes, wow, that's great. And I dropped it from the other hand, like it's gone.
Yeah.
So then she leaves the room. I'm like, okay, where's it? I dropped it on the floor. It's, it's around here. And it was not on the floor. Okay. I'm okay, but I'm not that good. I'm like, I'm looking and it's gone. The coin is gone. I legitimately laid it gone. I'm there looking. There's cuffs on the bottom of my leg, my pants.
Ah.
It had slid all the way down perfectly and dropped into the cuff. So of course I try to repeat it.
Yeah.
I hold my hand, move it, and I let go, and it never hit the cuff. It's just that one and done.
That happened to me. Yeah, that happened to me.
But yeah, so parents, because it's a great skill. Even if they don't take it very far, it helps them be in front of their
other
peers.
people. But it also builds confidence, right?
Absolutely.
When you can do it. Imagine you have to get up in front of 10 people to do what you practice 10 times. But later on in life, I'm sure that'll just really help you out.
And when their reactions are good, then it's like that fuel. Like,
yeah,
I got this, and it just kind of encourages us to keep going.
Okay. And on the last note, I always end it on the last note. When let's say people are in a bad situation, or they're mentally down or something like that, what do you recommend that they do to just lift themselves or just better their situation?
Find someone to help.
Find someone to help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take it out of yourself. Away from yourself.
You don't have to be alone.
Nope. Give someone a smile.
Give someone a smile.
And that brings the smile back. Just
100%.
because a lot of it's internal.
Yeah.
So if you reach out in any small, just do a random act of kindness, that's the magic.
So that's the magic. I like it.
The magic.
Cool. Doug, thank you so much for coming.
And
check him out on Instagram.
Here's
TikTok.
I'll leave you a thought.
Go for it.
Last thought. Magic is everywhere. You just got to keep your eyes open for it. The magic of a smile, the magic of a sunset, the magic of a newborn child.
Yeah.
That's the real magic.
Magic is everywhere. You need to keep your eyes out.
Just got to keep your eyes open for it.
Cool. Right on, brother. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep.